Hello, and welcome to episode 70 of the Screen Age podcast. My god, it's been a while.
Tis been a long while. 2 weeks now? Yeah.
Oh,
Been a while.
I for some reason had 3 in my mind.
Could be.
Last
Could be
week, the week before, 2 weeks.
2.
Sure,
Yeah.
the news doesn't go anywhere.
No, the news is news.
Well, yeah, exactly, the news is news.
Anyway, well, we'll get into it.
Mm-hmm.
You know. So we got the old... I forgot what we were starting with. TV shows, I think.
So, 40 seconds ago.
Yeah, I know. But we forget, so...
We do.
Yeah. So, we... I guess I'll go first. We finally got the first trailer for Stranger Things Season 4.
Oh, okay. This is a discussion point?
I guess so. So we got the first trailer and the release date for it. And it looks good. It does look good. But I don't know, I think I've gotten to the point where I'm no longer excited for it. I don't know why.
Were you excited for it at some point?
Yeah, after season 3 I definitely was. But they took 2 years to release the next one, so I feel like I've lost interest.
That's interesting, yeah.
It does look good though. It does look fun. So I think there is season 4 and a season 5?
There's a season 5?
And then that's it? I think there's 2 more seasons and they're gonna end it.
Aye.
I think. I was I liked the show, but I only heard, I think it was the other day, what the original plan and idea for this show was, and it was just so much better.
Oh.
It was supposed to be every season was meant to follow a different strange thing that happens with different cast, different place, different things. That would have been so much better. To just go every season, have different cast and a different strange thing to, explore or whatever. But I guess the first one was so successful because the cast was so good. In fairness, those kids were one of the best child actors we've seen in one show in a while. And obviously they just have milked it for all it's worth at this stage.
Yeah. I think their main thing with Stranger Things and it's similar to what you're saying there with the success of the cast itself. They put too much emphasis on, what people loved about this was the cast. And we're like, yeah, we like the cast, that's cool. But do you not see the few hundred reviews stating how the show feels like an homage to older 80s sci-fi like Spielberg's E.T. and such? Because after season 1, it lost that. It lost that kind of
it has dropped.
Yeah, the wondrous kind of feel of what sci-fi is with the creepy little twinge to it. To just, this is as creepy as we're gonna get. We're gonna get more and more creepy, as we go along. And I was like, I loved the feel of the first one. Because the creepiness was hidden behind around every single corner, and you knew it was always there, but there was still kind of wondrous and childlike feel to it that had a bit more sympathy to the world, which I know Spielberg has been kind of criticized for in his career. But that feel felt so good. It felt so fresh, and it felt so this is what we've been missing in a lot of pop culture things, is this older style of feel of movies and TV that we all loved and a lot of people grew up on, myself in particular. But then season 2 came along, I was like, cool, this I don't know what this feels like anymore. It just feels modern. Like you lost the feel of the first season, and the third I haven't even watched. So, but it looks like it did the same thing.
What?
We're also having connection issues, so I'm assuming something's kicking up right now.
I think so. You keep going. You keep going.
That's really it. That's all I got. Like I just kind of I dislike the change in tone, and then the over reliance on the cast, because there was an over reliance on the cast. There still is an over reliance on the cast.
Yeah, like like you said, the first season was like, it was eerie, it was scary, and it was all hidden behind like the unknown, and like we didn't really see anything until like the end. And then like season 2, they kind of just split up the whole cast, and we were like following like 4 different stories at the same time. And the third one did a similar thing, and then they all come together after a while. So it has lost its way a little bit, but it's still good. But I don't know why we've waited almost 3 years for the next one.
Well,
you know,
it's interesting that you turned around and it was like, oh, I was excited for it, and then they delayed it for 2 years. Not delayed it, then they took 2 years to create it, and then here we are. I'm probably not. I will definitely still watch it, but I'm wondering how long it's going to take me to forget that I'm going to have to watch Attack on Titan in January 2023. I know it's not as long of a jump as 2 years. I know it's not that long, but we've gotten part 1 of season 4 a while back, and we're like, awesome. And we're like, okay, part 2 is coming out in ages time. And part 2 came out ages time. We're like, awesome. What big way are they going to finish it? Well, you're telling me there's a load more they got to do?
Yeah.
Okay. Movie? No. Other season? Oh. When? 2023? Okay. Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, they made you wait so long for part 2, but it was like, this is it. This is it, part 2, and then we'll do a film, and then we'll be done, and that'll be the end of Attack on Titan. And then nearing the end of part 2, it was like, hey, there is like an unholy amount that still needs to be covered. And then literally the last episode they go, well, we're doing part 3, and I was like, wait, what? It's like, okay, surely it'll come in like September, nah, next January, making you wait so long, so long. Oh my god, I couldn't believe it when I saw it. I don't watch Attack on Titan yet, but I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe the fact that they just did a part 3. Just do a season 5 at that stage. Just do another season at that stage. What's the point in having season 4 part 1, part 2, part 3? Just, that's 3 other seasons that you could add there. I don't know. I don't get it. It feels like they don't really know what to do, and are just kind of going about it as they go.
Yeah, it does kind of make the question, do they actually have a proper plan for all of this? Holy shit, sorry, anime I wanted to watch has season 2 coming. Yes! I've been waiting for season 2 of this anime since like October of 2020. What the fuck was I saying? Yeah, it is unusual, because usually we sit down with Stranger Things, you manage to turn around to me and say, oh yeah, there's going to be a season 4 and then there's going to be season 5 and I'm going to end it. With Peaky Blinders, we were even like, there's going to be a season 6, that's going to be it, there might be a spin-off movie. We can turn around and say this, but with this, and it's like, even with, like, if we want to bring it closer to home, even with Demon Slayer, we were like, okay, there's going to be this many episodes, we think, and once that's done, we're going to get this arc. and there's going to be 2 sections to that, and we don't know how many episodes, but we know that's coming. We're like, awesome.
Yeah.
And after that, we have these 2 arcs, I think, that's going to come along, and so we have a plan for that. With this, we're like, we anticipate it to be over in the first half of the season. Sorry, the first part of the season, because it's called the final season. And we're like, oh wait, okay, there's a lot more that I should try to deal with. Okay, there's going to be another part, there's going to be 2 parts, it's going to end there. And we're like, oh, okay, there's actually a load more. Okay, they're going to finish off this part, and then there's going to be a movie, because it's going to be long enough. We're like, oh, there's actually a shit ton more. Okay, another season then.
Yeah, it's like the writers are just sitting there, and someone's bringing in the manga, and they read it, and they're like, okay, we'll do that. And then as they're finished writing, and they're like, okay, that's the end. Someone comes in with another 5 books, and they're like, okay, another season.
Yeah.
Like, I'm looking at it here. Like, season 1 came out 2013.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, 2013, and then 4 years later, season 2 in 2017.
Yeah.
That's already a ridiculous amount of time.
Yeah,
right?
now that is sadly because of the size of the studio. Now I love Wit, I do. It made one of my it makes my favorite show in anime, but they overstepped with that.
that is offensive, to say the least.
Offensive.
And then from 2017, 2 more years till 2019 for season 3, and then 3 years for till 2022 for season 4, and now another year for 2023 for season 4 part 3. I don't know what part we were on anymore. It's ridiculous.
25. I was going to check one thing because you said it's offensive. Yeah. Season 2, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, season 2 is also the shortest.
Yeah.
And that took 4 years.
Yeah, it took them 4 years to make 12 episodes. You know, if they came out and they were like, here's 50 episodes, okay, fine. But 12 for a 4-year wait, it's kind of rude. But anyway, like, it's a long time. It is a long time, especially for an anime that a lot of people consider has the potential, if it ends correctly, to be the greatest anime ever to ever graze a TV screen. So like, for them to like be taking this long and not have a proper set is just, you know, not great. Because okay, season 1 to season 2, you didn't know how successful it was going to be, and it was, right? And then season 2 to 3 to 4, okay, at least you've some consistency in the fact that it's a year to 2 years wait every time. But you're really fucking it with season 4 when you don't know like how many parts are gonna be. Are you gonna do a movie? You know, they're just really just making it difficult for people to really like this.
And there's an absolute charm and like sense of not wonder of kind of anticipation, not knowing what's gonna come, and that's grand and all. Excuse me, desperately sorry. I didn't think it was gonna be that loud. There's an obvious charm to that, but at the same time, there's also, I just get tired being told 110 different things, and then like not knowing, because there's only so many times I can get emotionally invested in something and be like, oh, this is it, and then it is, and I'm like, well, fuck it then, isn't it?
Yeah, that's so true. Like to like look at something, watch something, and be like, this is the end, and you're getting ready, you're prepared yourself for the end, and it's like, okay, this isn't the end, and you're like, okay, and then the next time you're like, okay, this is the end, this is it, and then again, and it's just like you said, there's only so many times you can have that happen to you before you go, okay, let's stop, I can't be bothered doing this anymore. That is quite frustrating. Yeah, but just like I said, it has the potential to be the greatest anime ever, you know, but they just need to sort that shit out.
Yeah, like It does. It seriously does have. Like, I am yet to see another series properly that every single season. Like, what I'm gonna say is probably a bit controversial in the Attack on Titan community. That each season is better than the last. I'm actually not a big fan of the first season. It's good. I'm not saying it's not good. It's brilliant. But when season 2 hit, I was
one.
like, holy shit, this just gets better. And season 3 hit, and I was like, fuck, this is possibly one of my favorite seasons ever. And it has one of my favorite ever speeches, and everyone knows what I mean by that. And season 4 is also great. In my opinion, 3 still beats it. And there's 4 part 2, which is also fantastic. Like, I can't look at it and go, no, all this is great. This is fantastic. But they gotta hold that up. They gotta hold it, especially when it's gonna be this flippant. They gotta maintain that. Now, okay, it's different than, say, Game of Thrones. That's what keeps coming to mind. Because Game of Thrones went off script. They didn't have books to reference. They didn't have anything like that. And they got shitty writers to come in and be like, here's what you want. And we're like, no, it's not. What are you on about, you lunatics? But now, because we still have like the manga to base things off of, and we still have material and sources, like, realistically, these should be great. But I don't know what the ending of the manga is like.
I don't know. They really just need to just sort it out here, you know, because it will get tiresome if they keep doing this, you know. Like, if at the end of part 3 they go, part 4 is coming, or there'll be a movie after this, people are just going to end up getting sick of it. You know, they'll watch it because they want to know what'll happen, but you lose that sort of, like, hype and love for it because you're just like, just fucking decide. Yeah. They need to cop on a little bit. But hey, they're the ones making the money, so.
Oh fuck yeah, they are.
I guess they kind of know what they're doing. But yeah.
What else you got? I got nothing in this.
Okay, well, Moonknight has been out for half of what it's meant to do. Is it, how many episodes in Moonknight? Episode count. So far, so we're about halfway. So far, it's good. I'm enjoying it. It is good. I just sometimes feel like it's missing something, and I don't know what it's missing. I know that sounds crazy to say, but it feels like it's missing something, or I don't know, something, and it just I am enjoying it, but I don't know how to get my feelings across right now.
You're missing the grittiness, aren't you?
Yeah, I think so. And like, it's just that stupid Marvel charm that they have to ruin everything. Like, I thought after episode 1 we were gonna get that gritty, dark tone, because it does kind of give you that dark tone, because you actually get to see blood when you know he hits someone and his hands are covered in blood, and you're like, okay, we got it. And then after that, every time he kills someone or he stabs someone, there's no blood. There's nothing, and you're just like, what happened? Like, we went from having the gritty blood, like, dark tone to it, to just not. And I'm just like, whoa, what happened from episode 1 to 2 and 3?
Have you noticed there, like, sorry, I know I'm cutting in just before I forget this, Disney have a weird thing with censorship lately, where they're like uploading censored videos, like censored episodes of stuff. There's been a few instances of this. There's, I think, about 3 in the past 2 weeks that I've known of. Anyway, they're like, "Oh, this is a censored thing." I think it was Daredevil was one of them. They're like, "Oh,
you mean Disney, not in Moonknight?" Oh yeah,
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 yeah. They have.
yeah.
Yeah, they
Disney
definitely
itself.
have.
They've uploaded a bunch of like censored stuff, so blood, cursing, swearing's taken out of it and stuff like that. And they're like, oh shit, we didn't mean to put this up. And then they put up the actual one. Now, I'm wondering if they were like, oh, whoops, or if it actually was an, oh, whoop, that is actually an issue. I have a feeling it's the whoops, we didn't mean that. You fucking did. Yes.
Yeah, no, they. Yeah, they have censored. Like, there's one scene in the one that comes to mind when you said that is there's a scene in Falcon and the Winter Soldier where Bucky has a metal pole, and he lobs it at someone, and it gets impaled into their shoulder, and they get stuck to a wall, right? But now, if you go back to watch that scene, they've censored it, and it's he lobs it at him, and it bounces off him, and then your man just kind of like up against the wall, and it just doesn't make sense because clearly he's meant to be impaled, but now they've CGI'd it that it just bounces off him. And it's like, why?
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense. And I'm sure if you go back to watch Daredevil and The Punisher that are, I believe they're up there now, there will be a lot of scenes that used to be there and aren't anymore, or at least have been altered a little bit because censorship. Hey, you don't need to do this.
No.
You know? You don't need to do it. And guess why? Because your streaming service has a setting for kids and for not kids. And guess what? Daredevil, all those ones are 18 plus, so they can go into an 18 plus. You know? And kids won't watch it, and if they do, well, that's their parents' fault. And someone getting impaled in the arm, they don't die, you know, that's right through the chest or in their face, it's in the arm, and they're just stuck there and they're like, ow. No blood, nothing, is not that bad.
That happens a lot in all the shows.
Yeah, and the fact that it was able to, first of all, get approved, get greenlit, and it still have whatever age rating you were going for, which probably is 12, means that it wasn't that bad. Why go back and change it?
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense.
It's one thing if they got an initial like 15s or R-rated, rating from this being in it. But again, as you said, they got a 12s. Like, that's fine. You're also allowed one swear word. Like, I miss the time of people pushing the age rating. I love, like, nowadays when you hear the phrase, oh, they're pushing the R-rated as far as they can go, they're not. They're actually just sticking to what is the R-rated thing. Like, pushing it is like going just beyond it, but not far enough for them to go, oh yeah, okay, you're right. Like, they're so strict, I guess, that as soon as you take a toe over the fucking line of R, it's almost 18s at this point. So every time I hear this, I used to get excited at the phrase that, oh, they're pushing the R-rated to its limit. I was like, cool, that means it's going to be a little bit more. You're like, oh, it's kind of violent. And then it's like, oh, it's actually what you mean is it's the step below it, not the step onto it. That's annoying.
Yeah, it really used to be like you come out of a film and you go, that probably shouldn't have been 12. Or, oh, but that should have been R-rated. You know, yeah, you don't get that anymore. You really get the bare minimum.
There's really too many complaints of parents being like, ooh, my child shouldn't have been allowed to see that. It should be rated up as well. Someone probably should have fucking watched some trailers and reviews.
Yeah, so it's like, I've seen some people complain. It's like, how could you have a Marvel thing like Daredevil and like, you know, I thought it was because it was Marvel, it was for my kids, and then I realized that it wasn't, and it's like, well, that's your fault, because not just because it's a Marvel superhero thing, it means it's for children. That's not how that works, you know. There's age ratings for a reason.
Yep.
Like, one of the best Marvel things, best Marvel movies is Logan, and that is no way near for kids.
18.
You know? Yeah, and it doesn't have to be for kids.
No.
Why? Because they don't, you know, different movie, different style, whatever, not for kids. But anyway, that's a different rant. But anyway, Moon Knight.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I just don't like the. I think I'm sick of the. I'm sick of Marvel at this stage with their fucking charm. Like, there's one scene that was so cool. So cool. It's like he's like falling and he transforms into the suit and he does like a superhero landing. And it's so awesome. And it's like, that was fucking cool. But then they do the whole thing where he lands and then he falls over to the side. And it's like, you've ruined an epic scene. And I know people would be like, well, it's because it's Steven, and Steven is like not as, you know, he's meant to be that dumb guy. And it's like, yeah, but you've ruined the whole scene.
Now, does he fall to the side, or does he like fall to the side and make reference to it?
No, he just falls and then he lands it, and then he's there for like a second and then he just topples over. No reason why he topples over, but he just falls to the side and then gets up. No reference to why he fell, nothing. It's dumb. When you see it, you'll be like, that was cool, and now it's dumb.
Yeah.
Literally, the way I watched it, that's how I processed it. And like, I know, like, he has multiple personalities, and one's a badass and one's a nerdy kind of guy, and it's like, I get it that he's the nerdy one, but you don't need to make him stupid. You know, he knows how to stand up when he's on one knee. You know, he doesn't need to fall over and then stand up. So like, that aspect of Moon Knight is annoying, but everything else, the story and all that, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It is pretty cool. But yeah. Will we move on?
Sure. Movies or games?
I think we said games?
Okay, games. What do you got? Because I don't have anything just yet.
I only have the greatest game that has ever walked the
earth.
earth.
I keep forgetting about it. Yeah, it's brilliant.
I know we're late to the party here, but Lego Star Wars, the Skywalker saga. Oh, absolutely beautiful game. Absolutely. It is so much fun.
Oh, yeah.
It is so much fun. It's massive. It's visually beautiful. Game mechanics are amazing. Storytelling, comedy. I could go on. It's just brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. I can't get over how good it is. I just want to play it right now.
Oh, yeah. I've been thinking about this for like days now. I just want to play that game. Like, everything you're saying is exactly fucking it. But my god. Yeah, like, I went into it again with a big old bias towards the old games, with a big old I don't know. I even wanted to keep the mumble mode on just so I can live back in my old times. But then as soon as I heard that pretty much the entire cast of the fucking of the Clone Wars series was in it, and I mean Sam Witwer is there, James Arnold Taylor, so Obi-Wan is there, Matt Lanter, Lanter, all of them are there doing the voices, and it's fucking crazy. It's amazing hearing it all. I was like, nah, I just gotta listen to this now.
Oh, it's absolutely, yeah. Like, I was the same a little bit. I was kind of like, I probably go into the mumble mode, but I was like, I kind of want to hear what it sounds like and stuff. And I was just like, this is just as good, you know, because there are games that you're like, okay, they're trying too hard, you know, with the Lego talking, and it takes away from it. But I feel like the way this game is done, with so much storytelling in it, that they really go through every single aspect of a film, not just the main events. They go through literally every single aspect. You have to hear them talking. I have heard a lot of people that played it in mumble mode got sick of it after a while. They kind of just were like, you know, it's cool, but it's not it, you know, not in this one anyway. But it's just amazing, and the combat is just insane.
That was one thing I was amazed by, is how fluid and just smooth combat is. I mean, like, the combos that you can do is so much fun.
Yeah, It's mental how good it is though. Like it's just so good. I don't know. I've never imagined a combo system like that, and in a Lego game. You know, in a Lego game, of all games to have a great combat like that, it's just crazy. And like the fact that you can't just spam, you know, X, because they'll start blocking, so you have to do other things, is even crazier.
Like boss fights in it are awesome, but the other thing that I'm most impressed about, like the most as well, is like it's not that far away from like what actually happens in the movies. Like if you go to Lego Indiana Jones 2, The Adventure Continues, it's a wacky fucking game. I love it. It is still one of my favorite Lego games. But like at one point Belloc becomes a big giant monster that fires beams after opening up the the Ark of the Covenant, and you have to do a big boss fight. You're like, oh, that didn't really happen. What the hell? But in this, I think the worst thing that comes to mind that happened is like you legitimately fight the droids in the Battle of Naboo with the Gungans. You legitimately fight them. Like you have to build the siege equipment and you launch catapults at them. And then you legitimately control them. You take out AATs and like hordes of them coming along. It's an actual fight.
I loved that level. It was so much fun.
That was awesome. And it wasn't like a wacky thing that happened. It was like a legitimate battle. And even Darth Maul's fight is a proper boss fight. Like you literally one-on-one him. Well, two-on-one him. Like you legitimately fight the man. And then even when you fly into the Trade Federation ship as Anakin in the Naboo Starfighter, it's legitimately you have to like destroy some things on this. Then you gotta go dogfight some other droid ships, and then you gotta go destroy something else and go inside and shoot your way through that. That's so awesome, but it's not wacky, and I love that aspect of it.
Yeah, like it is really, really accurate to the films. Like the attention to detail in this is insane. Now, obviously, it's you know, it's done up for a Lego game. You know, like Obi-Wan doesn't basketball shoot his what's his name, Darth Maul's head. You know, after he kills him, he doesn't do that. But obviously, that's part of the Lego game. But everything besides that is so amazing, and the attention to detail is absolutely insane. And like I love the interactions between the characters in like free mode. I love the voice lines they do. Like if you put like, I don't know, like Anakin and Darth Vader together, they have a voice line, and it's just so cool. And it's just so much fun.
Oh yeah, I will say you mentioned Darth Maul's death scene there. That's fucked up. You can't turn around to me and say that Obi-Wan cutting him in half and then his half torsoed body clawing his way to him, and then his other half kicking the dead body of Qui-Gon, which prompted Obi-Wan to cut his head off and then kick it away, is not fucked up. You can't tell me that's not fucked.
100% it is. But it's amazing.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Yeah. No, yeah, it is. That was
but not canon because he comes back in the Clone Wars with only half his body cut off.
Well, it's Lego. They can put each other back together.
Fair point.
Yeah, no, and like after like playing Phantom Menace, when I was then moved on to Attack of the Clones, I was kind of worried because I was like, they went into so much detail. I was like, I don't want to go on a murder spree with Anakin when he finds out his mother's dead. And I was like this is gonna be really dark if they do that.
No spoilers.
But I just love the game. I think my favorite episode to play though was either A New Hope or Empire Strikes Back.
Wow.
I think Empire Strikes Back outweighs it a little bit. It was just so much fun. Like the Darth Vader fight was just amazing. It was just so much fun. I love the game. I can't wait to go back and like after I'm done all the episodes, go back and get all the mini kits and stuff in free play. I just can't. It's just it's so good, and it's massive. There is so many worlds to explore and things to collect. Amazing.
Like
an amazing game.
Look at Naboo, just not even one of the biggest planets. You can land there, and there's a few things to do around the area. That's like where the siege begins, where they see Jar Jar. There's actually a few things you can do in a small patch of land there. And you're like, cool, it's a small patch. And then you go down to the fucking, I can't remember the name of the place. It's called like Unga something. To where the Gungans live. And there's like 20 pods and like a side avenue that you can walk along. You can literally walk around its city. And you're like, holy shit, this is pretty big. What else is next? You can then go to the fucking avenues and boulevards of Feed and walk along there and go into different buildings and then go like over the bridges. You can see the entire maps of both Star Wars Battlefront 2, 2007 and the other year that it came out that I can't remember off the top of my head. You can see where both of those maps take place, and it's like also ridiculously detailed, because I remember walking down the main area in the newer Battlefront 2, where like where you have to escort the MTT up the big avenue while the clones attack. And I remember looking around being like, I know the layout of this place. I know where I'm going. It's so detailed.
It's insanely detailed for a Lego game. It's crazy. I absolutely love the game though. It's so good.
If I wasn't currently building a massive Venator out of Lego, I would currently be playing it once we're done this. But I have to keep building it.
Of course. No, but it's just like, I was reluctant to get it. I was like, I don't know, I'm not feeling like playing a Lego game at the moment, and I know it'll be good, but like the original was great and all this. And then I caved in. I was like, fuck it, I'll give it a go. I'm sure it'll be fun, it'll be fun. Oh my god, was I absolutely underestimated this game. It was so much fun. I don't know how you went on holidays and didn't just gnaw your hand off because you wanted to get back.
I almost fucking did. I also I didn't have the Venator by then. I almost fucking did. It was awful. I was like, every single second I'm like, I would go on to Instagram and I'd see like clips of it, but I would watch the first second and go, no, I want to experience it myself. Even when you were talking about it during the weeks, I was like, don't say anything more, I want to experience this shit. It's honestly just, it's amazing.
It is blown my mind. So far we've gotten fantastic games this year. This year has started off well with games, and hopefully it'll continue. Hopefully it'll keep going.
Realistically, it should. Looking at the games that, those games came out in 2021. That's fine, because there actually is. You say that, and I'm currently looking at a statistic here that really sets apart this year from last year's games. Want to know what it is? Battlefield 2042 falls below 1,000 Steam concurrent players, as devs promise over 400 fixes.
400 fixes? There is nearly as many fixes needed to be done than concurrent players.
Yep.
That is shocking.
Yep.
Shocking stuff. What is going on? Wow. That is a game that has really, really just disappointed me, and has put just a whole, like, I don't want to pre-order games till they're out for a while thing in my mouth because like I've always been like big into pre-ordering a game, but after Battlefield, I'm so vigilant about pre-ordering a game or even buying a game because I'm just so worried that it's going to be so disappointing. Oh my god, I can't believe 1,000 players only. Oh my god.
Yeah, Battlefield 2042 update 4.0. It should not be a 4.
Not after it only being out for less than a year.
No.
It hasn't been out 6 months.
That's a lot of iterations of a game to go through to get up to a 4.0 in its update.
Oh yeah.
I can't remember version. But yeah, it's coming next week, bearing over 400 bug fixes, quality of life improvements, and other balance changes. So that's actually
That
just
is
bugs.
shocking.
That's like in my mind, if you were to say 400 bug fixes, balancing and quality of life improvements are added to that.
Yeah.
But in this case, they're not.
Apparently not. Oh my god.
Attachment.
That is shocking.
Attachments shall also receive an overhaul.
They might as well just release a new game at this point, but the amount of fucking things are changing. Now, could it be that in 2 years' time, after so many updates, it's good? Probably. You know.
Yeah,
it'll
can't
probably
go for a
because it'll be
fiver then.
Yeah, because it'll probably be a completely different fucking game at that stage. But, oh my god, I can't believe the state that game is in is shocking. And we gave it a go. We tried. We tried.
Oh, we really did, yeah.
But we just couldn't. Oh.
The other
Now,
saddening game that has lost a lot. That also came out in 2019. Not 2019, sorry, 19th of November. It's Halo, and that also has some other issues and other worrying statistics.
I was gonna bring that up. Oh god, what's the statistic?
Halo Infinite player counts drop below the Master Chief Collection on PC. Now I thought it was just a little bit. I thought it was just a little bit, but it's actually like 1,200, like 1,300 players less. So and then you think, 1,300 players for a big game like Halo, that doesn't seem like a whole lot. At first, reported by Eurogamer, Halo Infinite's total player count on PC dropped down to 7,800.
Jeez.
Yep. And then on PC, unfortunately, this means 343's latest shooter actually dipped below the player count of the Master Chief Collection, which rose to 9,123.
What is going on? Like the fact that people want and prefer to play old Halo games, because they're not playing Halo 4, they're playing Halo 3 or Reach. The fact that they prefer to play that over the new game is, honestly, they should really take a look at themselves and go, what have we done wrong?
They're also doing an interesting
For so
thing
long.
where they're shooting themselves in the legs as well, because they're also releasing updates for the Master Chief Collection. And this sounds, I want to put this now, this sounds fucking incredible. What they're doing to the Master Chief Collection.
What?
They've done Halo 3 and Halo 3 ODST co-op crossplay, so PC could play with Xbox and such.
Okay.
Full custom game browser support, and that's just the beginning, because there's one other thing that sounds amazing, which is Flood Firefight.
Oh, that does sound absolutely amazing.
That legitimately sounds like something we should go back and actually play at some point, because that sounds amazing.
That does sound incredibly fun.
But why are you putting all this effort into the Master Chief Collection?
Yeah. But there is an update coming to Halo, a big one, and a big game mode being added. Can you guess what game mode that is?
Oh my god, hang on now. Hang on now. Since you said that in the way you just said it, I'm 100% assuming it's not campaign co-op.
No.
Of course it wouldn't be. Why would it be? So if it's not that, and I think affection's already there. Is it Oddball?
Think outside
Oddball's
of
there.
Halo.
What?
Game mode that has never been in Halo before.
Rocket League?
That we love so much.
Oh, you're not talking about Battle Royale.
It is a battle royale. We're getting a battle royale.
No. Okay. It's not the fact that we're getting a Battle Royale. It's the fact that we're getting a Battle Royale before co-op campaign.
Yeah. No, they haven't like released a date for it. There's just people have found settings and leaks and stuff in the code that it is coming, but the fact, like you said, that it'll either come at the same time or before co-op is embarrassing. But yeah, so we're getting a battle royale, apparently duos and quads. Yeah.
Ass.
Yep. I honestly can't believe it. Like, can we stop with what's it called, with battle royale games? Can we stop? Like, it was cool. There was that period where it was fun and it was cool, that original like Fortnite PUBG era up until maybe a year of Warzone. Like, that period was fun, but now we're sick of battle royales, at least us anyway. But I feel like everyone is also. I don't know. I just don't want to play battle royales anymore.
My issue at this point now, and it's something that I keep seeing everyone say with Halo, is that they're just fed up. And that's 100% the words to use. We are tired of they're just not listening. No one has been asking for this. Like, we've legitimately all been asking for other things, and they just don't give it to us. Like, even competitive players have been asking for balancing in their competitive ranking systems, and yet they just still don't get it. They just don't. And we're utterly fed up with this. And it's because of these decisions. It's because of all this that keeps making me turn around and go, I don't know if I can call Halo my favorite game franchise anymore. I'm like, it's slipping through my hands, and Dark Souls is being pushed up there to being number one now. But like, because Halo was the first game series that made me go, oh, you're good at games, and like, I have so many childhood memories of it, and I was like, that is worthy of being my favorite game franchise. But now every time I look at it, it's just issues. There's just problems. There's just, oh, here's a mistake. Oh, here's something we need to try and fix. Oh, here's something. I think what hurts the most is that it turned out so well at the beginning, and then it just never changed. Nothing new came.
Yeah, I think that's what hurts the most, because at the beginning it felt like they were listening to what we wanted. They were adding things that we were looking for. Even the whole like delaying it to overhaul the multiplayer and everything, it looked like it was actually, they were actually listening, and they were gonna put lots and lots of effort into it. And then they just it just felt like they don't care.
Yeah.
Just feels like they don't care. They're just like, what is working out there? What is working with other first person, third person shooters out there? Like, what is working? Fortnite, Warzone. What do they have? This. Throw it in.
What's
there.
working is Fortnite.
No, Warzone is still absolutely massive.
And but it's massive because of its negative negative criticisms on a regular basis.
Yeah, but I'm sure the player count is still absolutely insane. But like, And then obviously Warzone 2 is coming out soon, so who fucking cares anyway? But like, yeah, I just can't believe Halo has disappointed us like this.
So I say something there. You mentioned what was the first game you mentioned? No, hang on. Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, you said it's an interesting thing there, which was what's working out there. Like if you legitimately look at Lego Star Wars and Elden Ring, you look at those two.
Yeah.
They did not turn around and go, "What's working out here? What's everyone else doing? Oh, they're doing this and this. Oh, okay, you know what? Yeah, we'll do that. That's exactly what we're gonna do." From Software turned around, sat down and went, "What do players love about our games? Open world exploration. Let's redefine that. Okay, weapon abilities and upgrading. Okay, let's redefine that. What's something we haven't done? Okay, horseback combat. Let's redefine that as well." And in doing all that, they have created this immense masterpiece. Have turned around and went, "Here you all go. Here's Game of the Year unless God of War comes out." And we're like, "Excellent. This is phenomenal." And then you got Traveler's Tales turning around, TT Games, and going, "Okay, what do our fans love? Okay, Star Wars is pretty out there." They first turned around and was like, "Okay, what's working out here? People want Star Wars. Okay, what do people not want? They don't want shitty attention. They want flushed out. They want some nice new things. We can redefine our Lego games." That's a fucking 100% what they did. And those two games, in my mind, are games of the year, without a shadow of a doubt. And it's because they turned around and said, "This is what we can redefine, not what we can define."
Exactly, and that's literally what we've been asking for. Games to be, not just in games, in movies and TVs as well, just to be original and, be different, make new things. And that is literally what, like you said, those two games have done. They've redefined, they've been original, they've changed what we know as the norm of games. And yeah, I don't know what to say anymore with some of these game companies that just don't listen. Because that is the main thing. They just don't listen to us. They just look at statistics and go that. They don't actually listen to the people that would be buying and playing the games.
Yeah.
I don't get it. Anyway, move on before we get any angrier. Movies. Well, that was a massive merger that kind of just occurred during the week.
Hey?
Warner Bros. And Discovery just kind of merged together.
When the fuck did this happen?
Yeah, apparently it's been in the works for a while, and it just went through a $43 billion merger. Yeah, so now it's called Warner Bros. Discovery. But apparently the new CEO wants to do a complete overhaul of DC. So he wants to basically restart the whole thing.
He's not gonna touch Batman. That.
He's not going to touch Batman. Batman, there's no need to worry about that. That is safe. That's not going to be touched. But the DCEU and any other DC projects, they want to do a complete overhaul, and he wants to find what he calls a Kevin Feige type person to run it. So he wants to find someone that will be in charge of all of it. And his main ambition and main goal isn't to focus on main characters like Batman and Superman and all those guys. He wants to focus mainly on secondary characters like the Joker movie. He emphasized that he wants to do more movies like the Joker film, of secondary characters that we don't really get a standalone film in, and he wants to do that. And honestly, if he can do this, he's got me excited for the future of DC. But knowing DC and Warner Bros. is always like put in with a, but what if they mess it up again?
Yeah.
That kind of a feeling. But if he can do what he wants to do, it could be good, for DC.
Yeah, I think DC work best in shorter, conciser, more kind of fleshed out, which is funny how I'm saying short and concise, it's fleshed out movies and like series. So like Dark Knight, it's a 3-movie.
Yeah.
It's not 23. It's 3 movies. It's not set up to anything big, and it's a masterpiece. And then Joker, a short movie, not a short movie. It's 1 movie, not a series. There and then, that's it. It's a masterpiece. Yeah. What else can we go into? I'm going to load them, I assume. Like DC work best in fleshed out stories that don't trail and don't drag on. So if he's doing shorter type of, here's these like lesser known characters, let's build him up. Like, and if he's doing an overhaul, that word always impresses me. Oh, that's a bit Battlefield 2042. Overhaul to me means they're looking at what they have and they need to change pretty much all of it. So if they're looking at the DCEU, they're looking at the style the DCEU is in, and they're figuring out that they have to change all of it. Honey, we may be in for some fucking good content.
Yeah, and that's why I kind of got excited, because the fact that he came in and like that was one of the first things he said. He was like, we need to like get this up and running. We need to fix this. It just shows that it's in the doghouse. It's not doing great. No. And like their whole thing at the moment was, okay, we gotta build everything around Ezra Miller, and then suddenly Ezra Miller has been cancelled.
Oh,
and now they're like, now they're like, because they could, it's a Flash movie. They're going back in time. They could just get rid of him and get someone else to play the Flash in this universe or whatever. But now it's just kind of be like, just put the movie out, put Aquaman out, if they're doing another Wonder Woman movie, if they have that in the works, put it out, just get it out, and then we'll start again. We'll just put them out because we've sunk money, we might as well make something back from them. Get them out and then just start again.
You gotta be honest.
Get rid of that, forget about that, and move on.
You gotta be honest for a moment. You gotta look at what happened with Ezra Miller, look at DC and go, fuck, that was unlucky. Like,
it was unlucky.
Imagine the studio turning around and being like, okay, this is the actor that we're riding upon. Okay? His character, he is the backbone of he did what to a bunch of people in the resort?
We love Ezra Miller. He will do what happened? Yeah.
He is what our future what?
Yeah.
Oh.
It definitely there was definitely like a a guy like a paparazzi following like the old CEO, and he was like, did you see what Ezra did? Yeah, he's such a great guy, we love it. He's like, he did what? No, give me a minute. What the fuck? Like,
you imagine being really the paparazzi guy.
They tried.
Seeing it happen and go, I just like, if I was in the paparazzi position, I'd take a picture and go, oh, jeez, this is the final nail in the coffin. I'd feel awful.
I feel bad publishing this.
Yeah, I would legit go, oh, poor DC. I would legitimately just look at it and go, God, they don't deserve it.
But honestly, it's the most DC thing.
Oh,
though,
yeah, it really is.
It's the most DC thing. Like, and even like with the Fantastic Beasts movies, he was in them, and he was like also like the next guy that they were kind of gonna focus on. And I watched that film the other day, and it feels like they cut out a lot of screen time after what happened before they released it. Because, like, he was meant to be, like, one of the main villains in it. And he's in it for, I say, a total of, like, 10 minutes.
Wait, did you see the new one?
Yeah, I did.
You need to tell me you see movies so I can post shit.
It wasn't that great.
That's all. Doesn't matter. That's not what a review does.
That's true. Anyway, but yeah, like even like Warner Bros. Just have an ability to choose one guy and go, that one, we'll focus on him for so long, and then just either something will happen or you'll mess it up.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're trying so hard to be like Marvel, and they just know how to pick him. They just know.
No, they do.
like they're like, okay, we got Ezra Miller and we got Johnny Depp. Okay, we lost Johnny Depp. That's your fault. You shouldn't have lost Johnny Depp. But anyway, Ezra Miller. Okay, fuck. Okay, but we got Amber Heard. Oh, fuck. Like, they just know how to pick him over there.
Yeah,
like,
my fucking
and then,
God.
Like, okay, the first thing was the Johnny Depp Amber Heard thing. You got both of them, and you made a balls of that.
Mm-hmm.
You've made an absolute balls of it. And I think that's one of the main reasons Aquaman was delayed, because they want to see how this trial ends, and then they will either, you know, go back and fix it, or be like, okay, we'll just send it out. You know, and then like they're like, okay, we'll forget about that, but now this is our star boy. Let's just make him the front cover of everything, because we got rid of Henry Cavill and we got rid of Ben Affleck, so let's just put him in the front.
Mm-hmm.
Here's Ezra Miller, everybody.
Oh, God.
It's like we can't get it right. You know, and like it's kind of funny. Like, it's sad, but it's kind of funny altogether. Like, it just keeps happening to them. Like, it just keeps happening.
Mm-hmm. Like, okay, as you said with the Amber Heard Johnny Depp thing, that was on them. They fucked that up royally. And that's why this Ezra Miller thing makes it so much worse, because it just wasn't in their hands. It was just not their fault.
No, it wasn't. But in fairness, they've handled it well.
In fairness.
Finally, they've handled it well.
By making a $43 billion purchase be like, for the love of God, help.
Please. Yeah, because that like merger was like on the cards for a while between, I think it's Warner Bros, AT&T and Discovery, and it was in the works for a while, but it does feel like Warner Bros were like holding out, because they were like the bigger badder dog, and they were like probably looking for more money or whatever. And then they were like, okay, you don't want to give it to us, we're fine on our own. They turn around, they open the door and they just look out and they're like, they close the doors like, okay, we'll settle for 43.
They just hear screaming, fire explosions, they close the door slowly. It's like, so 43 sounds good.
Yeah, they're like, what's going on? No, just sign here. Sign here and then we'll deal with that, you know? It just, honestly, I do, feel bad for them, because they can't catch a break.
No.
They just can't. Like, originally, again, Johnny Depp Amber Heard thing, I didn't feel sorry for them, because they did mess up. Mm-hmm. They made a balls of it. But look, at least they stuck to their guns. They didn't go back on it. At least they were like, look, we've done what we've done, and we're moving on. Like, okay, fine. And then, you know, they delayed the Aquaman film because of Amber Heard, and it's like, okay, this was meant to be your year, but okay, you've messed it up again. And then Ezra Miller comes along and decides to fuck it up again.
Yeah. And
I'm sure there's so much more controversy surrounding Warner Bros. That we just do not know. And it's kind of funny.
Oh, yeah.
It's a comedy of errors. Oh, it's funny.
In a dark way, it's pretty damn funny.
Yeah, it's funny that they just can't catch a break. It's not funny that it's actually what the things that are happening isn't funny, but just that they just can't catch a break is kind of funny.
Yeah.
Like, there's a heading here, like, Fantastic Beasts and where to cancel them. Like, that's funny. That's funny. But yeah, they just can't catch a break. So hopefully this merger, this massive merger, will, you know, save them, and will, you know, finally given that final push that they need to just cop on.
This merger and new mentality. Yeah, because this new mentality from the CEO sounds like a step in the right direction. Hopefully.
Hopefully. Yeah. Oh.
Okay.
Kind of funny though.
Oh, it is.
But do you have anything?
I have two
Or would I go?
interesting things that are not real news, but I just kind of want to discuss. If you have another piece of news, let's discuss that for a second.
Well, yeah, I was just gonna say that like Sonic 2 came out a while ago.
It did?
And it's just it did. It's very good.
Oh yeah, sorry, I remember you saying.
It's actually very, very good. The first one is better, but it is still very good. I just want to say that they've absolutely made so much money from this. They like the first couple of weeks they just made so much money. I think it's getting close to the highest grossing video game movie of all time, if not already past it. I just like that's really it, just the amount of money they've made, but mainly I want to focus on the absolute like overhaul. Again, that word that they did with this film. Do you originally remember the design? How awful it was. Absolutely awful design. And then they just completely changed it into what Sonic actually looks like. But not only that, but have created a franchise of Sonic, because, you know, there will be a Sonic 3. So they've created a trilogy almost that
And a series for Knuckles,
is
isn't there?
actually, yeah, as well, yeah. So they've created this whole thing from something that could have just gone horribly wrong, you know, and that is just absolutely amazing.
God,
and
DC, take notes.
I definitely. Wait, who is the people that do Sonic?
Game or directors?
A studio.
Studio, yeah. I actually don't know. Paramount?
I think it's Paramount. Yeah, I think it is.
Must be.
Yeah, it's Paramount.
Okay.
Yeah, Paramount. Okay. I thought it was Warner Bros. For a sec. I was like, no, not a chance. But yeah, I just want to say that it's absolutely amazing. And my brother was saying that he thinks that the bad design was a publicity stunt from the beginning, and I don't think so. I think they turned it into a publicity stunt.
Yeah.
But yeah, just want to bring up Sonic.
I mean, honest,
how much money they're making.
a part of me believes it, but then I look at the $50 million they had to spend. If it was like 10 million, I'd be like, oh yeah, like it was a publicity stunt. But 50 million is a lot of money for not reshoots, but like redesigns, CGI overhauls and shit like that. That's a lot. It's a lot of manpower. It's a lot of work that's gotta get put into this.
It is a lot.
So they definitely changed it to publicity stunt, and they definitely did the right thing doing it all, and it definitely helped them, which is why I can see people be like, oh, they intentionally did this. You know what? That doesn't mean they didn't intentionally do it. They probably did, in all fairness. There's a good chance they did do it intentionally. Did. Yeah. But at the same time, what happened, and now we have two great movies. And possibly a third. Yeah.
And possibly a third, because they after credit, you know, they throw in another character that will come in, so it's great. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it is now the highest grossing movie. It has passed out Detective Pikachu, so it is the highest grossing video game movie of all time. With $148 million. What I would do to have that money. Anyway, what do you have?
I have a sorry. I have an interesting mindset that Daniel Radcliffe has that I just love. But I just wanted to discuss because as we were talking through it, a few times we mentioned do things that you want, do things that you know, and do things that you feel is best for you. Like this, we've talked about this plenty of times with actors and directors and video game developers. We've even talked about it in this podcast, this episode today. But his whole thing is why he decides to do weird movies after Harry Potter. and it's brilliant. It's because weird begets weird, and then you start doing weird things, and he loves doing weird, and he's known for being weird, and he knows weird, and he loves weird. So that's what he does. He talked about I loved it. He said, when you're the guy who does horns, you're like, oh, maybe he's into weird things like that. And then you go from doing horns to Swiss Army Man, and then you go, oh, yeah, okay, now he's into this type of stuff. And then you do Guns Akimbo, it's like, oh, okay. If you look at those three movies, sorry, like, Horns is good. It's a very unusual movie, but it's still very good. It's weird. And Swiss Army Man is one of the weirdest movies you will watch, but it is so good. And then you have Guns Akimbo, which is weird but not good. But he doesn't care. He loves doing it.
Yeah, he doesn't care.
And I think that's something that people... because it's actually during the week as well, we were also discussing... actors came out against method acting. And how you go into this and you give way too much. Honestly, you give way too much. Trying to fit into a role, and you would just end up damaging yourself, honestly. Method acting has always terrified me when it's taken to those extremes. Okay, like, Daniel Day-Lewis is a method actor, I think, and, like, the extent that he went to, you know, they weren't extreme, per se. There's probably a few extreme things, but they weren't crazy. But then you look at, say, Joaquin Phoenix for the Joker. No, he's just a joke. You look at Joaquin Phoenix and you see, no, Jared Leto's shit was a joke. That, like, it genuinely fucking was. Using your crutches to go to the bathroom, that would take up 45 minutes of people's lives because you want to use crutches. That is not extreme. It's stupid. If you don't need them,
that's why I pointed out, because he was just the way he does method acting is just stupid.
Oh, it's stupid. It doesn't add anything. But if you look at Joaquin Phoenix, you look at how much he's had to drop, like all the weight he dropped and how into that. I know he's probably not method now, but you look at that shit, and honestly, looking at it just makes me go, how is that fun? How do you enjoy doing that? That is just a form of self-torture. But then you just look at, like, the lovable puppies that is, like, people like Daniel Radcliffe, who genuinely make great movies and love doing it, and don't do it for, like, the sake of, like, he turned around and was like, oh, after Harry Potter I could easily have just said no and stopped. But you look at Rupert Grint, he's only come back in recently to, like, TV series, and it looks like he's doing, like, some good stuff. And Emma Watson has pretty much just stopped after, like, as a Little Women. I don't know what she's done after that.
Yeah, I think I have no idea, but at this stage, I think she stopped.
She's just pretty much
maybe
stopped.
She's done some other stuff.
Yeah, but, like, even her stuff just came across as like, oh, we have Emma Watson, we have Hermione. I'm like, cool. No one was like, oh, we have Harry Potter. Huh. It was like, oh, Daniel Radcliffe is in The Woman in Black. And as soon as we saw that, we were like, oh, he's doing weird things. And then a lot of people were like, that's fine. And then he just kept doing weird things. And it was after like 2 or 3 movies that I rapidly stopped seeing him as Harry Potter and I started seeing him as Daniel Radcliffe. After Horns, I was just like, it's just Daniel Radcliffe. So once I saw What If, I was like, oh, it's Daniel Radcliffe, not Harry Potter. So now when I see him in all these weird movies and I see how, like, passionately and full of joy he talks about acting, that's what that should be. And that's what should be whatever you go into.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. Like I think what helped him, because from going from a massive franchise like Harry Potter, where you literally just looked at as Harry Potter, he did a great job at going into something so different, such a different role in The Woman in Black. That was so different to, like, the tone, the audience that watches Harry Potter into something completely different. That it allowed him to, like, separate himself from Harry Potter and be himself. Unlike, let's say, like Emma Watson, she went into, like, cute films like that and kids films and stuff, that it was kind of harder to separate from that role, because you still have the same audience, you still have the same tone, and it's difficult to move away from that. But he's done a good job at just going into like a completely different genre that it allowed him to move on, just move away from it, and he's done a good job at it.
He's done a fantastic job at it. It's just like hearing him talk about it, because with Elden Ring and Lego Star Wars, we turned around and said they redefined what they wanted to do. They didn't look at what are other people doing, what's working out here. Daniel Radcliffe does not look at what is working, what people want. Okay, he might end up in like a Marvel movie at some point because he's kind of a big enough name that people would still recognize him and shit like that, or he might end up in some Disney Plus thing, whatever. That's gonna happen because that's just what happens with it. But he looks at the weird roles and wants the reputation for doing weird things because he himself is a weird person, and he himself loves it, as do we fucking all. We love him because he's just a little weird kind of ball of chaotic energy. He's just a little kind of just gremlin that just kind of scurries different movies, does them, loves what they do. We love what he does. He scurries to the next one.
Yeah, he just loves what he's doing. You know, he just loves it.
Yeah, and like, but he loves what he's doing without doing anything huge. That's what I would like. I can't remember who we were talking. Oh, it was Tom Hanks. I think it was my family were talking about, and they were like, "Oh, he hasn't done anything big in ages." I was like, if I was in his position, and I went through my 90s, 80s, 90s, early 2000s, and had some of the biggest roles ever, at this point, I just wouldn't want that much.
Do passion projects.
Yeah, I just do small things. I see where he's coming from. I would, like, people criticizing big actors for not continuously doing big things and big roles and pushing themselves after they've done all that. I'm like, just let them live their lives. Let them turn around and do the weird things, do the fun things, do the things that make them happy.
Exactly. It must be so draining to just constantly be, like, have to be the best of the best, be, like, up there, always competing for Oscars or always competing for awards and trying to make the perfect film. That's draining. And, of course, certain people love that, and, you know, and I'm sure Tom Hanks loved it for a while and loved the attention and loved everything and all that. But it does get to a point where you just want to just have fun with what, like, your job. You just, it is, like, at the end of the day, like, we don't look at him and be like, he's working. You know, we just see him as an actor that, you know, makes movies for us and we watch them. It is, at the end of the day, it is a job for him. And if he doesn't enjoy it, then what's the point in doing it?
Exactly.
You know, like anyone else. If you don't enjoy the job, why are you doing it? Like, he's going to be in the new Elvis movie. Like, first of all, didn't even know there was going to be an Elvis movie till I saw the trailer at the cinema. But I'm sure this isn't a film that he obviously is expecting an Oscar or anything for. He probably just was like, I absolutely loved Elvis back in my day, and I would love to be part of this. You know, and he's gonna be part of it now. You know, it's just, let the man be happy.
Yeah.
You know,
it's dumb for us to continuously ask for more and more and more. Or, like, when someone decides to do something, we're like, oh, I don't know. Because, like, Daniel Radcliffe actually wants to direct something. He's written something, and he's looking at trying to direct it. I can't wait to see what this ball of chaos comes out with. But because I know what's going to be true to him. It's not going to be this thing that, like, he's looking at Marvel, he's looking at everything. He even said, he was like, I'm worried about it because it's so weird, but I had to write what I knew, and I knew weird, so I wrote weird.
Yeah, exactly. And, like, that's fine, like, because he's having fun with it.
Yeah.
You know, and who are we to go turn around and be like, no? You know, like, and he makes films that are bad good.
Yeah.
You know, certain films are like, they shouldn't have worked, but it did. You know, like, I absolutely love What If.
I love What If. It's my favourite
Absolutely
rom-com.
love that film. I absolutely love that film, and it wasn't successful.
No.
Like at all, box office wise, it wasn't successful, and it's probably not a good film. But him and Zoe, whatever her second name is, are just fantastic in it, and it just makes the film so much fun. You know, and that's what it's all about. If he's able to make a bad film good, you know, and who are we to tell him no? Like,
yeah, who are we
if
to
he's
turn
loving
around?
it and people are exactly like if he's enjoying it and people are willing to pay him to do these films, who are we to just be like, no, stop, you know?
Yeah, like
It just doesn't make sense.
Who are we to dictate what these big actors and actresses shouldn't do? Like the other thing I want to discuss, even briefly, which is good that we have a segue, is like we always have this prejudgment of people when they get cast in a role, which is very tiresome for actors, and it's like Robert Pattinson is the top example of this. A load of people saw he was going to be Batman and thought Twilight. Now that prejudgment needs to be erased. That needs to be eradicated. If you judge someone off one role, you should not be judging people at all. You're judging way too harsh, and that's stupid. But if you're like, if you look at someone and go, oh, I don't know, this character does this, this, and this. Because, like, even when Jeffrey Wright was said to be Gordon, I knew a few people were like, oh, I don't know. But I turned around and was like, fuck off. No, Jeffrey Wright's going to be awesome as Gordon. I know he is. And he was.
Yeah.
He was amazing as him in that.
Yeah.
So, like, people have, like, prejudging has its place when you know and you have ample reasoning to turn around and be like, this person is probably not going to be a good fit for this movie. But if you only have like certainty, and if you deal like a Sith in absolution, then and you don't have this idea of, oh, they could be all right, then that's way too harsh. And I always feel bad for actors as well, because obviously Daniel Radcliffe had to go through that. Through anything.
Yeah.
You'd be like, really? Oh, Harry Potter has been put into this? Like, no, Radcliffe's been put into this. Yes, he's been Harry Potter for a long while. Yes, that's the reference we know of. But it's Daniel Radcliffe being put into this. You need to look at it and go, that's what we're looking at. Not this one role, not this. And if you're like if you're gonna hate a movie just because an actor, you think this actor is not going to be good, you don't have a place watching that movie, and you shouldn't watch that movie.
Yeah. Yeah, and I feel like it's usually hard for actors that start, because usually, like, Daniel Radcliffe, obviously, his first big role was Harry Potter. And same with Robert Pattinson, his first big role was, like, Twilight. So, like, going into a franchise so big from the beginning of your career is kind of hard to separate yourself from it, because like we look at like Robert Downey Jr. and we don't necessarily go, he's Iron Man. We go, he's Robert Downey Jr. Or same thing with Chris Evans or Chris Hemsworth. We don't look at them and go, they're that character, because we've seen them in other things before Marvel.
Yeah.
Or before their big role. But sometimes it's hard for those people that start in a big role to separate from it. And I do feel bad for them, especially Robert Pattinson.
Yeah.
The amount of shit he receives just because he did 4 shitty movies in Twilight, and it has like dictated his whole career, is really unfair, because people will be like, why would I watch him? He was terrible in it. It's like, just watch any other film that wasn't Twilight, and you'll see that he's a fantastic actor. You know, and it is unfair. But I think he's getting away from that now. But you know, it's been so long. Taken so long. What did it take? It took a fucking Batman film for people to realize that he's actually a good actor.
Oh yeah, and it's a shame because he had Devil All the Time, The Lighthouse, Tenet. He has so many other ones. City of D.
So many.
Is that one of them? Lost City of D or some shit.
Yeah, I think so.
Something like that. Some action adventure. And he's great in all of them. And you're like, Why? Why does it have to be a pop culture thing? Why does it have to be a thing that everyone knows for you to go, oh, he's actually good? It's like it's with Daniel Radcliffe. People will still see him as Harry Potter because he hasn't done anything massive. But he's done so many other small things that we should be able to turn around and go, oh, he's awesome. And that's what I've done. I'm like, oh, he's awesome because I just love him in these movies. But nah, Harry Potter. Edward, whatever his fucking second name is.
Yeah, because like even like Daniel Radcliffe did a film this year with Sandra Bullock. It's called The Lost City.
Oh, that's the one I was thinking.
And like, yeah, so he's done The Lost City, and ever since, and I don't know why, but ever since, they went on tour and stuff, Sandra Bullock has not stopped saying, like, oh, Marvel need to cast him as Wolverine. He needs to be Wolverine. And it's like, he just has come out. First of all, this isn't like new.
Mm-hmm.
People have always said that he should be Wolverine. But every time he's just like, no.
Mm-hmm.
He's just like, no. He's like, oh. And he said he's made jokes about it because he's so sick of like answering the question that he just makes jokes about it, and then people go crazy, and he's just so sick of it. He's just like, I don't want. First of all, he probably doesn't even want to be Wolverine, and second of all, Marvel probably wouldn't even want him as Wolverine. So just leave him alone. And I don't know why, like, they just keep bringing this up, and then Sandra Bullock just, continuously saying, oh, they need to fucking do this, and those are the words, they need to fucking do this, and I'm just like, just stop.
Yeah.
Like, just why? Like, if he doesn't want to do it, he doesn't have to do it. Leave him be.
Yeah.
I don't get it. But anyway, that was our little love rant of Daniel Radcliffe.
There's a love rant Daniel Radcliffe, and just the entire why your mentality should be going into this type of industry, I guess, and what we should be more aware of, rather than just turning around and being that passing judge. Look, there's no point in me fucking saying that. No, everyone's gonna fucking judge.
100%. Look, like, obviously we all have actors we don't like. That's that's just a given. We all have actors that we don't like, and whatever they're in, no matter how good they are, we're just gonna be like, I don't want to see them because I don't like him. But what we shouldn't do is, if they're in a bad film and then they're in a different film, go, I'm not gonna watch it because that other film was shit. And it's like, is it a sequel to this one? No. Is he playing the same character? No. Then how could you judge a completely different script, movie, character, portrayal just because he was bad in this other one?
Have your reasons, but
that's
make them
what we
logical.
need to stop. Yeah. If you don't like someone, that's fine. I don't like Jared Leto. Whatever he's in, no matter how good it is, I don't want to watch it because I don't like him. I just don't like him. That's fine. But I'm not going to be like, he's shit. He's probably he's probably not a terrible actor, but I just don't like him, so I don't watch anything. And I think we just need to move away from that. Like, oh, they had a bad film, well, that's the end of them kind of mentality. But it'll never happen, so
we might as well run our outro. So
yeah, so that's it. So follow us on Instagram, where we post movie reviews and game reviews and stuff, and then go over to our YouTube channel, where we are going to start posting Let's Plays again, and that's where you can find our podcast as well. So that's it, and see you next week.
I'm setting a fucking